Well, here we are. I wanted to show you the wreath, and it's fairly good size. I didn't measure how big it is, but I wanted to be able to show you what it looks like and show you the detail. I'm still playing with the wreath. I decided to add a little bit, and I had some of this nice burlap and sort of light colored jute ribbon, but I only have a little bit of it, so I ended up cutting pieces and putting them where I wanted. Since we've already put a lot of things on the wreath, I didn't want to well, I couldn't put it on part of it because it's just too bulky. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these on here. I just wanted to show you what I was doing, and then I will come back and show you some more of what I've been doing with the pumpkin. I took it off of there. I had glued it on but temporarily, but I decided I'm going to take some more jute and run another line of jute around here to make the pumpkin a little bit more solid looking. And then I had some gold paint. Then I used a little bit of that. I don't know if you can see it real well. It puts a little bit of highlight on the pumpkin. I'm going to put some more of that, and I will be showing you that here in a second. I'm just going through a few things extra that we're going to do. I also put a little bit of the gold on these gumball things. I mixed a little bit with the white, and then this one I had put some red paint, sort of a burgundy red, and then a little bit of gold on top of that. And I painted some more of these little bitty flowers like this that we can add in just to fill in the little empty spaces. And I don't know if you can see those, they're kind of tiny, but I'll let it try to focus. So anyway, we're going to do that. And I tried an experiment. I have a bunch of these green leaves. So I took some of the gold and I painted them. They look pretty good. But what's interesting, on the back, the leaf looks really cool. You can see the vein. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, it shows up pretty well. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. I used a little bit of red on this one. It kind of gave a dull color, but I used the red underneath the gold on this leaf, and it actually turned out pretty nice. I like the way it turned out better than just the gold, because it gives a little bit of color, a fall color. You know, it has a little bit of the reddish orange that's in the trees. And we could even cut these apart and use them on some areas on the wreath in order to fill in. So I also did a little bit of red on a pine cone. I'm going to add another pine cone, and I thought that was just a little bit different. And it adds a little spark of color. And that's what I like, is some color. You want it to catch your eye. So I'm going to get some paint poured out here, and then I'll be back. I even took a little bit of the gold and I put it on the underside of the leaves, the pine cone needles. And then I took my brush and just kind of put it down inside there, just a little bit like that, just to give it a little bit of shimmer inside there. And you know, you can do as much or as little as you want, or if you don't want gold, you could use another color. If you like silver, copper would be a good fall color. And I'm going to do the bottom here in case it shows. Not sure where exactly we're going to put this yet. So I think I'm done with the gold paint for now. Trying to get a little bit down in here. Okay, we're going to let that dry. And now let's see, let me angle this a little bit so you can see it better. See right there, I put a little bit too much glue, so I'm going to take my paintbrush, other end, the handle end, and you can just kind of swipe that off a little bit, get rid of some of it. We're almost done with this. And this is not a perfect science by any means, just whatever looks pretty to you. If you don't want the jute on there, you don't have to put it, or you could put some of the raffia ribbon like this around there. I just thought the jute twine kind of ties in with harvest. You know, on the hay bales they have jute twine a lot of times holding it together, and it just seemed kind of a natural. Now this end I'm going to take and glue it here, and then I'm going to run it through to the back so it's kind of out of the way. I don't want it to be distracting. Let me get my stick here. I'm going to let that dry just a little bit, and then I'm going to glue this, hot glue it in the back. It doesn't take long for hot glue to dry, but you do have to allow just a, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds, a minute. It depends on what you're gluing. Some things, the hot glue tends to, now see, this is the ugly side. Yeah, you always have an ugly side, the back side. It doesn't matter because it's going to be glued right onto the wreath. Nobody's going to see it. Not sure if I can make it to where you can see more of the pumpkin. I mean, the wreath. When I get done, I'll hold up the whole wreath, but at least this way you can kind of see what I'm doing, and while I'm doing it. So I'm going to get some glue, and I'm using a little prop here to keep it up off of the table a little bit, because I have the sticks sticking out in the back and I don't want them to get broke, which they could do very easily. So see where your pumpkin is touching, and take your glue gun and put some glue right there where it's going to sit. I have about 3 or 4 spots here that the pumpkin is going to sit, and I'm going to put a little bit of extra here on the bottom. Kind of look and make sure that it's straight. I think that pine cone is soaking up the glue. Yeah, looks kind of like fall. I'm just going to try out this other pine cone, see what I want to do with it. Maybe right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my pliers, and this side is a little more flat, so I'm actually going to take my pliers and get rid of a few of these excess needles that are in my way. And you have to be careful, you don't want to knock off the ones that you want to keep. So I'm just going to take a few, try it out, see if it fits better. So it kind of lays in this little groove here. Oh yeah, see, that's much better. It's still sticking out up here, but the bottom part there is more flat, and when I glue it, it's gonna stay. It's not gonna jump off the wreath. I think I'm gonna glue that right there. So we're gonna hit some glue on the pine cone, and also in the space that it's gonna be occupying. And I may have to come back later and put some more glue, but we have plenty of hot glue. That's the thing, hot glue is fairly cheap and easy to use. Just don't get it on your skin when it's hot. All right, I think our acorn, our gumball, and our pine cone are all glued in. So I'll give you a little look at it. I'll pull this out so you can see it a little better, the bottom part. And yeah, we're getting there. We're almost done. We're almost done. I always seem to add more things. Almost done, almost done. So here we go. We have this red flower, which I wanted to put in here, so I have to glue it. Let me move this a little. And I'm just gonna maybe cut the stem a little bit. The stem's a little bit long. I don't need it quite that long. I'd rather leave it long and then cut it. So I'm using my wire cutters. And there's a little bit of wire in there. And I'm just gonna put it down in here. I think that'll be good. So I'll use my glue, get some hot glue on this, and just kind of glue this whole thing right in this area. Yeah. We're getting there, we're getting there. Yay! There's a couple more spots that maybe I would want to put an acorn, maybe a bigger one. I have different sizes. I have little ones, big ones. I have one here without a hat. This one I did paint a little bit, so maybe I could find somewhere to put that guy. Maybe up here. And then maybe this one would go beside it. Or maybe the big one. Oh, what a dilemma. Which acorn? Like I said, it's just fun. Just put something there. If you really, really don't like it, you can always change it. You are the creator of your art, of your craft. And we're just trying to use up some of the natural things too. All these acorns were collected in my neighbor's yard, my friend's yard, and the sticks were from my yard, pine cones from another neighbor's yard. And most people are happy to let you collect some of the things that you need to make natural items like this. All right, here's a perfect spot for this one. But you know, that's Mother Nature. Mother Nature at its best. Okay, I kind of like the thought of this other acorn being in here. What do you think? Because that'll make 3. Sometimes they say in artwork to use 3 of something. I'm going to try it. Let's go for it. We got the glue, we got the acorn. We're going to do it. And I angled it the other way just to give it a different viewpoint. You know, if you're standing below the wreath, then you can see the top, which the little hat on them. I call it a hat. I think it's kind of neat. It's very, very intricate for nature. One of nature's intricacies. Okay, I don't have enough glue on there evidently. So we're going to put some more here for this guy. You gotta hang on there. You'll be falling on the floor. I'm going to turn this off, and I tell you what, one more thing that I have to do. One more thing. We need to put a hanger of some sort on it. And I figured out something very nice and natural to use, which is this raffia ribbon. I call it raffia. Maybe I'm calling it wrong. Text me below or comment below if I'm saying it wrong. Maybe there's another name for it. But I tied the ends. I made it long enough for my wall. You can make it shorter. And I made a little loop. And I'm just going to pull it through like this. And then at the top, you could tie it wherever you want. If you don't want it that long, you can tie it shorter. And just knock the bead off. Oh well, we have plenty of beads. But I think I'm going to tie it, maybe about right here. Just tie a little loop. And then you have the option, you can either leave the ribbon hanging down, which I kind of like, or you could cut it off, you could make a bow, whatever you like, whatever looks good. So I'm going to go over here and hang it on my wall, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So here's our wreath. It's on my pantry doors. It's a pantry I don't use as often as my other one, so I thought this would be a good place for it. I like the colors against the cream shutter type doors, and I thought it was very nice looking here. To show you the detail,